Hello friends, I hope you all are doing well. Today I, CA Pujin Kapadia, welcome you all on the today's lecture of topic Central Bank. Friends, in the last lecture, we had take a rough idea on the introductory part of the paper 6 of banking, in which I explained you what was the syllabus that we are going to study in this particular semester. Then we have discussed the paper style. There are 5 MCQs in which we have tested your knowledge. And finally, I have given you some brief idea on the basic topic that we are going to cover in this particular semester. Today, we are going to start with the first unit, the name of which is Central Bank. First of all, let me give you the idea that what is the content of today. We are going to deal with majorly 3 topics. First is definition of central bank. Second is going to be objective of central bank. That is basically we are going to study why we need a central bank in a country. What is the purpose behind having central bank in any of the country? And the third topic that we are going to deal today is origin and growth of central bank in India. That is how this central bank came into existence in our own country. Fine, without wasting any kind of time, I would like to directly start with the first slide. Meaning. First point reads says, a central bank is an institution that manages the currency, money supply, and interest rate of a state or formal monetary union and oversees their commercial banking system. This meaning may sound technical to you, so what I'll do is I'll just like to break this meaning into different parts. First thing that we need to learn is central bank is nothing, it is an institution. Yes, so first point that I need to keep in mind is it is an institution. Now second point that I'm going to learn is what does it manage? It is an institution, but what does it manage? So it is managing basically in this meaning 3 different kind of thing. First is currency of the particular nation. Second is money supply. Money supply is basically at a particular point of time, what is the total amount of money? What is the total amount of currency that should be present in the economy? It should not be less, it should not be more, or else it will result into economic instability. So the second thing that is being managed by the central bank is the money supply in the economy. And the third and the most important thing that the central bank manages is the rate of interest. We are well aware that the rate of interest by the bank keeps on changing from time to time. Basically, these changes are brought into force by the central bank of a particular nation. So again, refining this definition, first point that I need to remember is central bank is an institution. Second thing that I'm going to remember is it manages 3 things. First is currency, second is money supply in an economy, and third is rate of interest. Then it is written over here of a state or a formal monetary union. Yeah, state here represents as a nation, a country, and a formal monetary union is basically defining or signifying a particular area which is having an independent jurisdiction of monetary terms. So a central bank is an institution which manages 3 things, that is the currency, money supply, and interest rate of what? Of a state or a formal monetary union. In spite of it, it is also doing one more thing. What does it doing is it oversees the commercial banking system. Mark this words, friend. This is also an important words of the meaning. Commercial banking system means the entire banking that is being prevalent in any particular nation which is doing the banking business throughout the country. This is being also being overseen, that is being supervised by whom? By the central bank. So to cut this definition short, I can remember 3 important points. First is central bank is an institution. Second is what does it manages? It manages 3 things, that is currency, money supply, and interest rate of what? Of a state or a formal monetary union. And what does it oversees? It oversees the entire commercial banking system. This is the basic meaning of a central bank. So if you are asked in an examination write the meaning of central bank, or the question comes as what is central bank? This is the major answer of this particular question. Now let's move to the second point that is given on the slide. You need to remember the underlined word. It has the apex position in the banking system. Apex means the supreme power at the top of anything. So if I'm talking about any banking system in a particular country, central bank of that particular country holds the supreme, the apex position of that particular system. Third point read as, it is responsible for the financial and economic stability of a country. Friends, it is most important point, because if a country becomes unstable, there is a frequent waves of inflation or depression, it becomes not practically possible for a country to continue growing at a good amount of rate, as a result of which it becomes inevitable for a country to maintain financial and economic stability. And who is mainly responsible for the same? The central bank of that particular country. So friends, from this slide, I can take away three important points. First point was the meaning of the central bank, in which we have learned it is an institution which is managing basically three kind of things: currency, money supply, and interest rate. And it is also overseeing the commercial banking system. From the second point, I have learned in any banking system, central bank holds the apex, supreme position. And the third point is, for any nation, the financial and economic stability is the responsibility of a particular central bank. Now friends, I have given you a small chart at the bottom part of the slide, which read as functions of central bank. What are the basic function of central bank? Friends, just take a note. We are having this topic, what we are going to study in detail in the later part of this chapter. This is just for a rough, brief introduction so that you can get a general idea what basically a central bank does. The first point is, it is the currency authority, which means the power, the authority of supplying currency into the market lies with the central bank of that particular nation. For example, if I wish that I want to print 2000 rupees note in India, I am not having any kind of power or authority to print the same. The power for the same lies with the Central Bank of India, and it is RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Second is banker to government. This basically means we all have our accounts with any of the banks. Similarly, government may also require a bank account, right? So which is a bank which is dealing on behalf of government? The answer is central bank of the country. So for example, government of India wants to do certain transaction. Which is the bank that is going to be the banker which is going to provide banking facilities to government? Answer will be central bank. Third point is bankers, bank and supervision. In this point, we need to understand, like we have our own bank. For example, I may be having my account with State Bank of India or Bank of Baroda. So I would say my banker is SBI or BOB. But in the same way, SBI or BOB may also require a banker, right? Then who is going to be the banker of those banks? Answer is central bank. The central bank performs as the banker to the various banks in the particular nation. And it also supervises, oversees the commercial banking system in a country. Next point is, it is a controller of money supply and credit. As I discussed in the first point, maintaining regular money supply in an economy is a most important part for a country. It can't afford any kind of instability. And who is the person which is responsible for controlling this money supply? Answer is central bank. Basically, central bank also performs the task of controller of money supply and credit in an economy. And the last function which is written in this chart is, it is a custodian of foreign exchange reserves. Many people in the country are dealing with export and import transactions. So there may be a continuous requirement of foreign exchanges. But who is the optimal foreign exchange reserve? Who is the person who is holding foreign exchange for our country? Again, the answer comes with the central bank. As a result of which, I have written or given here 5 different kind of functions that are majorly performed by the central bank. First is the authority to issue currency lies with the central bank. Second is it serves as a banker to the government. Third is it serves as a banker to the different banks which are doing business in a country. Fourth is it controls money supply and credit. And last is, it is the custodian of foreign exchange reserve. Friends, so if you are asked a 2-mark question, what is central bank? Write the meaning of central bank. You need to write this entire slide as your answer. I hope I am clear with this particular slide. Moving ahead to the definitions. The first definition read as, the central bank is the bank that controls credit. The definition is given by W.A. Shaw. What does it mean basically? The most important word in this entire line is controls credit. It talks about how much money should flow in an economy, how much credit should be extended in an economy. Is the one, the central bank is the one who controls the particular limit. As a result of which, the major part or the major role of a central bank lies in controlling the credit of a country. As a result of which, the definition is short and simple, which reads as, the central bank is the bank that controls credit. The second definition is given by Samuelson. It defined central bank as a bank of bankers. Friends, if you can recall in the last slide, I'll just show you up over here. We have studied one of the function, that is a third function. You can see my cursor moving. The banker's bank. The same definition is given by Samuelson over here. It is the bank of bankers. That I gave you the example of SBI and BOB. That I am having my banker as SBI or BOB. But if SBI or BOB wants any banker, who will be the banker for them? The answer is central bank. So yes, friends, we can remember like this. What the Samuelson said? That central bank is a bank of bankers. I have intentionally kept the definition short so you can easily learn the same. But I request you, if it is asked in examination, either the definition or the meaning, write the entire first slide and these two definitions. This will create a great impact in your paper. So just reviving the two definitions very quickly. The first one says it controls credit. The second one says it is a bank of bankers. Moving ahead to the second part of this slide, the heading is objective of RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India, as per preamble to RBI Act 1934. So what does the main page of the RBI Act 1934 read as? The objective of RBI is stated in that. Let's read the same. It is to regulate the issue of bank notes. Can you recall the first function? Authority to issue currency. It is the same, to regulate the issue of the bank notes and keeping of reserves with a view to securing monetary stability in India and generally to operate the currency and credit system of the country to its advantage. Let me keep you in the point. I have highlighted majorly three words. The first word read as issue of banknotes. That is the first objective of RBI is to issue currency, banknotes in an economy. The second objective over here is reserves. I guess you might be aware with the two words CRR, SLR. It stands for cash reserve ratio, statutory liquidity ratio. Just to brief you out, it is mandatory for each and every bank performing banking operations in our country to maintain a fixed percentage of reserve with RBI. So what is the second objective of RBI is to keep the reserves with itself of various banks. And the third and the most important part is to secure monetary stability that I told you by controlling the money supply in the economy, by controlling the rate of interest in the economy. What RBI does is it ensures that there exists monetary stability in the country. The basic objective of RBI can be broadly classified into three parts. First was issue of banknotes. Second is keeping reserves of different banks. And third is ensuring monetary stability. So from this slide, we have just done two topics. First was definition, two different definition. Mr. W.A. Shaw told it controls credit. Samuelson told it is a bank of bankers. What is the objective as per RBI Act 1934? Issue of banknotes, maintaining reserves and ensuring monetary stability. Just to give you a knowledge, it is a repetition. RBI Act is in 1934. When was RBI incorporated? In the year 1935. And when it was nationalized? In the year 1949. We have already covered this thing in our first lecture, but I am just repeating it because it may be asked in your examination. So RBI Act 1934, incorporation 1935, and its nationalization in 1949. Moving ahead, let's see some of the history. First word is Imperial Bank of India, under which I have written it was set up in the year 1921. Again, a year to remember. Imperial Bank of India, when it was set up, 1921. How was it set up? It was set up by amalgamating. Amalgamation is nothing, it is a merger. Fine. By amalgamating, merging three presidency banks which perform few central bank functions. So before independence, there were three different banks which were amalgamated, which were merged to form a Imperial Bank of India in the year 1921. Further, it read as primarily it remained as a commercial bank. It served as a banker to government and bankers bank till the establishment of RBI. We all know RBI was established or incorporated in the year 1935. But before that, which bank was performing the functions of a central bank in our country? It was Imperial Bank of India. I guess you are clear with this. Imperial Bank of India set up in 1921. How it was set up? By amalgamating three presidency banks. What was the main part of Imperial Bank of India? It was taking care of all the central bank functions before the establishment of RBI. Moving ahead to the second part, it read as Bank of England. Bank of England was the first central bank in the entire world. So if the question comes, which was the first central bank to be set up in the world? The answer is Bank of England. When was it set up? It was set up in the year 1694. So the first central bank is Bank of England, when it was set up in the year 1694. The third part read as IBRD and IMF. I would just request you guys to learn the full form of these two words because it is going to be useful in your banking subject. First is IBRD, the full form of which is International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. I guess you must have surely studied this word with World Bank in your school days. We are just again learning the same thing. IBRD, it stands for International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. And the second word is IMF, it stands for International Monetary Fund. Now why I'm using these words is IBRD and IMF. Both are the international organization which is mainly controlling all the central banks across the globe. So the main importance over the world around the globe lies with IBRD and IMF. They are the indirect controller of all the central banks that exist throughout the world. So in this slide, we have dealt with three different short questions. First was, what is Imperial Bank of India? It was set up in 1921. How it was set up? By amalgamating three presidency banks. What was its function? Before establishment of RBI, it was serving as a banker to government and the bankers bank. Second short question, Bank of England. It was the first ever central bank to be set up in the world when it was set up in the year 1694. The third was IBRD, that is International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, and IMF, that is International Monetary Fund. They are the one who controls all the central banks across the globe. I hope I am clear with all these three short questions. Moving ahead to one of the important question, a long question from this chapter. The question's topic is purpose or objectives of central bank. Why do we need a central bank? What is the main objective of the existence of central bank in any country? I have given you 15 points that you can easily understand, and we can write the same things in the answer. Let's take point wise point. First is monitoring commercial banks. As I have told you in the first slide, we have learned that the main function of a central bank is to oversee the commercial banking system in the country. So if I take the Indian perspective, I can say RBI is the one who takes care, who oversees each and every commercial banks that exist or doing banking business in the India. It is its first objective. Second is keeping up the security of the money. That is, it is the one who is responsible for the security of the money that prevails in a particular country. So it ensures the safety of your money. Third is employment creation. RBI extends the loan and many advances to different sectors of the economy, as a result of which the economy gets funded by various sources of finance, and the end is the result of which we can create huge amount of employment. So yes, employment creation is the indirect tool which is being led by the central bank. Next part is assuming noteworthy part in the working of a country. For effective performance of any country, RBI plays an important role. Next is to manage the nation's money supply. As I already discussed, money supply should not be less, it should not be more. It should be appropriate as it is required in an economy. So what is the role of central bank here is it ensures or manages the money supply of any country. Next is equal distribution of wealth. We are very well aware that RBI has framed different rules for different sectors of the people residing in a country. What does the main purpose of it is? It wants to ensure that each and every sector of the society gets equal amount of wealth distributed. As a result of which, rich should not become rich and poor should not become poor. This is the main ideal behind this topic. Next is managing the interest rate. See, it becomes necessary to increase or decrease the interest rate as per the market situation. For example, you might be aware in this pandemic kind of situation, bank has drastically reduced the interest rate. Fine. So it is the role of the RBI to manage the rates of interest. Next point is showing supervisory power. That is, it is the apex banks. So of course, it is going to monitor and oversee all the banking system. Next is to keep commercial banks independent from politics. Again, an important point. We know there can be some political influence on the banking, but at the end, it is not allowing bank to perform independently. The main purpose of establishing the bank fails somewhere if it is being influenced by some of the politics. As a result of which, the central bank of any country ensures that there is no political influence on the functioning of the bank. Next is price stability. It ensures that value of a particular currency is neither undervalued nor overvalued. It tries to retain the value of the currency of a particular country. Next is economic development. We are having a separate detailed long question on this particular topic. So I'm not touching this point as of now. Next is public welfare. Of course, central bank is being established for the people so that banking facility can reach each and every people, each and every citizen of a country. So it does various steps. It does undertake various activities which can finally lead to the public welfare. Next is functioning of a clearing house. All the checks that we are depositing, fine. Imagine if there was no clearing house, how would our check get passed? As a result of which, central bank has established several clearing houses which are doing nothing. They are doing the function of clearing the checks. As a result of which, we get easy transfer of payments and funds in our country. Next is controlling of banking system. It is the one who takes care of entire banking system. It ensures that people do not lose any kind of faith from the banking system and always look after that people are encouraged to park their own funds with the banks. And last is it directs the country's financial policy. If a country is making any policy, it is driving out any financial loss, they are for sure going to take the directions or the advices or the recommendations from the central bank. So basically, these are the 15 different points that can be kept as a purpose or the objective, which is the answer to the question, why do we need a central bank in a particular nation? I hope this all are the general points, so it will be clear for you. Still, if you are having any kind of doubt, we can repeat the same points. You can ask the doubts in the Google Classroom. Fine. So now it's the time to test your knowledge. You are well aware with our system of testing your knowledge. 5 MCQs, 30 seconds each, after completion of which I'm going to discuss correct answers. So I guess you are ready with this. So your time starts now. Well, students, I hope you are ready with your answers. So let's start discussing the correct answers. Question number one, a very simple one, which is again a repetition. When was RBI incorporated and nationalized? The correct answer is it was incorporated in the year 1935 and nationalized in the year 1949. So correct answer is option number B. Second is the first central bank in the world is the Bank of, we have just studied, it is a Bank of England. Third is Samuelson defined central bank as Bank of, answer is it is a bank of bankers. Option number A is the correct answer. Who has the authority to issue banknotes in India? We have seen in the slide of meaning the very first function in that chart. Answer is RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India. For any country, central bank is the one who has the authority to issue the currency. Last question, IMF stands for, we have studied two international organization name. One was IBRD, that was International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, and second was IMF, that was International Monetary Fund. So the correct answer is option number C. Well, I hope all of you might have got your answers correct. If not, just take a quick overview on the first part of the video so that you can get a detailed knowledge of the things we have discussed today. So ending over here, I feel whatsoever I have taught you today is much clear with you guys. So be well equipped with this knowledge and hope to see you soon in the next lecture. The topic of origin and growth of central bank in India will be covered in the next lecture. Thank you friends for your patience listening. Thank you.